And I'm going to hide that fat man because he doesn't play a role in it right now.
Is that the original Jabba the Hutt before the CGI?
Nope. Maybe. Possibly. All right. Let me double check. I got some feedback coming on my side. I got to fix.
Wait. Jabba was CGI?
What, on the remake?
What? No, I thought they just found like a giant alien slug. Like I thought George Lucas had like connections.
Well,
George. I'm not say something and get us in trouble. It was someone's mother-in-law.
As long as it wasn't yours, I think you'll be all right.
Let's see. Oh, what do we want? Let's do that. That way we have some kind of picture showing up on the stream rather than a big black square. All right. So, you guys remember where you ended up last session?
Want to say we made it all the way back down, sleep at our ship after a busy day of negotiating for cars, mechanics, a brief gambling session, and a little bit of drunken persuasion of one of our potential marks here in the bidding war. Action-packed adventure.
Very action-packed.
Yeah, that about sums it up. We only almost got into about 3 street fights.
Just a little.
Just a few.
Yeah, just a few. You guys were probably closer than you realized. All right. So, yeah, you left a bar after manipulating some poor, heartbroken Twi'lek.
Mm-hmm.
Went back to your ship, sleeped off the... Do you remember what you guys were drinking?
I actually wasn't drinking.
He
Yeah, I don't consume.
allowed others to drink some Ugnaught spit.
You partook, didn't you, Altor?
Oh yeah, I had some. I had some.
Took it like a champ.
Hardly the first time for Altor.
All right, so a full day's gone by. You got a good rest on your ship. You wake up, see the beautiful sunrise of Bespin. Where do you go from here? What's on your plate?
We gotta take delivery of a hot cloud car.
You do. It's supposed to be delivered sometime today.
Yeah.
Do you remember where it was being delivered?
To the ship, to our pad, to our landing pad down in the ship bay.
Yeah.
And I think we had arranged that for early. I think they said they'd have that in the morning.
They are late.
Well, I mean, you expect that sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, purchasing things off the black market on demand aren't exactly most timely.
You accept this as the cost of doing business, really. But somebody's got to stay here.
So
what we'll say is you won't have to stay there for it. That you'll get a encrypted holo when it's been delivered.
Also,
unless you want to stay and have someone wait around, but that's up to you.
Well, my sense of honor makes me want to stab someone for being late, but I'll go with party rule.
Some poor helpless droid shows up with a ship.
You're late. Then IG shoots me, and then it gets real nasty, and the party wipes right here.
Well,
friends, we race tomorrow, right?
2 days.
2 days? Perfect. Great deal to do. I still have not been to this museum. I must go see.
I guess if we got time to case the joint, why not?
Yes. Yes. Hopefully one can just buy tickets. I do not know yet. If not, we find side door.
So you guys want to head to the museum?
Yeah, I would like to. They're not obligated to follow me. This is really more Altor's area of expertise. But he's not going to stop on anything.
He's looking at it from a technical standpoint. I kind of want to get a lay of the land for like, where are the exits?
This is fair. This is fair. Altor would consider this somewhat lower priority.
So you
I know.
kind of want to plan your what you're saying is your escape route.
Yeah, I need to know like multiple escape routes, at least 5.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I suppose I'll go with. Take a scan of the building.
So you're essentially going to go and like case the joint.
Oh yeah, it's casing time.
All right.
Oh no, we're going to sightsee the museum.
We're just regular tourists. We'd love to see some of the fine arts.
All right. So I'm going to pull up a map and share with everyone in Discord. And I'm going to share this with the stream as well, because this will come in handy. And you'll need it as you kind of make your way through it. So there's a Discord.
It's where all our faces are coming through.
I have it popped out, so no, not the case. All right, so you'll be able to blow that up. That's the Fig and Associates Art Museum, and that is where the auction is going to take place.
Okay.
So you're going to go during the day?
Yes.
All right, so you arrive, and we're going to say you're going to get there just at opening, because it opens at 10 a.m. You did your kind of your mundane task. You had breakfast. You ended up checking in with Eris just to kind of see how everything was going, kind of report in where you're at, and kind of just give an update so that way Eris knows that there is progress being made and she's kind of getting some kind of return on her investment. So you get there at 10 a.m. and it's going to be 10 credits per person to enter the museum.
Well, they're really proud of themselves, aren't they?
It is. It's actually
gougers.
It is a fine establishment. It's actually, as you enter the lobby of it, you notice it's actually extremely gaudy and expensive. There's very luxurious cloths kind of hanging from the ceiling, draped, kind of like you got the little I can't think of it. Tapestries. Thank you. You're my wordsmith. So very nice tapestries hanging from the ceiling. Right at the main entrance, before you'd go to the front desk, you actually see this giant stone statue. And I'm going to throw that up as well.
Right here, where number 1 and number 2 is, I assume.
Yeah, so like number 1 is the main entrance. So right where 2 is at is where the reception desk is, and across from that is a large stone statue. And I'm gonna post that into Discord as well, because it's pretty impressive. Someone took a lot of time to sculpt it. Might as well show it off to everyone.
It looks like a rebel.
What's the text at the bottom? Or can I read it?
So you're going to investigate a little bit of it?
Just take a look, see what it says.
It actually lists the name of the corporation that conscripted the building of it.
But nothing as to who it is.
It is the founder, the man who invested in building of Fig and Associates Museum.
Oh, is that Fig?
Surprisingly enough, no. It is not.
Okay. Well, I'm biting my tongue. I'm not sure I should dive into my usual BS here. I'm probably going to get us kicked out.
If you guys want, actually roll an underworld for me.
Against what?
One difficulty. So purple. One purple. It's an easy.
There you are.
So Altor and IG and Ren, both of you, or all three of you, actually recognize that the badge on it actually says Aslesis. And you know from your underworld dealings that it's actually kind of a shell corporation for the Incom Corporation. They're a starship manufacturer. So take that for what it's worth.
Interesting.
All right.
Here in the museum, are they giving tours? Are they leading groups around to view the galleries, or you just wander?
During this time, it's just wandering. It is actually a fairly light traffic. This time of day, there's probably maybe 30 to 40 people throughout the whole museum kind of making their way through. It is a bit dark cats? Kaz? Dark Kid? I can't pronounce your name. I apologize. You're awesome. Thank you for the follow. So yeah, you'd make your way through. There'd be about 30 to 40 people throughout it during this time. They aren't doing the tours at the moment.
So it's 10 credits for a no tour show?
12 credits. Tours typically run another 8.
Droids get in free, right?
Oh, thank you for this subscription.
Very nice.
Darth. Yeah, that's fantastic, man. Yes. Droids do not get in for free.
Is there a group coming through by chance?
There can't. Oh, you know what? We forgot to do. It's a very important thing we forgot to do.
Roll things to
Strain and
destroy our
roll
lives.
stuffs.
Yes. Everyone,
right.
roll one of your force dice because this may help indicate whether or not a group is coming through. So we got one dark side, one light side, another dark side. All right.
Tosh, dang.
So all right, we have two dark side points and a light side point. You can use one of the light side points if you want to have a group come through that you can blend in with.
I'll go with group consensus. My vote is for... Yeah, why not?
We'll just have to make him punch back at us, you know?
You guys have those. I'm going to use them. I've just been pretty light on using them because I don't want to kill you all in the first two.
Of course, of course.
I mean, do we otherwise look like we belong here?
No.
No, not
So
at all.
while the museum is typically full of touristy type folk, you stand out particularly more than most. Most of the people who come here are you're not seeing any of the locals. You're not like you look like you belong in the port levels of Bespin, not up in the upper crust.
Yeah, hell, let's burn it. Let's burn the token to
Yes!
ensure that we can move cleanly in the flow of the crowd while performing our reconnaissance.
Flip that token. All right, yes. There is a passing group coming by of tourists,
Beautiful.
most of which look like they might be charity cases that you'd all fit in well with. Everyone's kind of speaking different languages.
We're sliding right up towards the back of that group. And I have a few things that Altor is going to look for. Few things, very critical. First one, kind of prompted by the fact that I see it on the map, he would look for how the security guards present are moving around. Do they have stations? Do they have a route? Do they trade stations? What are they on about?
So, as the group that you blend in with actually makes its way up to the reception desk, you make your way past the statue, and the kind of the head of the group that you're with kind of walks up to the desk, starts negotiating with this middle-aged woman that's at the desk. She was wearing a... No, I'm reading the wrong thing. I apologize. Sorry. Clicked the wrong thing and shrunk the page down. So it's actually, you get to the reception desk and you actually find a Lutraran male with a silver C3 protocol droid at the main desk.
Mm-hmm.
The protocol droid is actually negotiating with the lady. You see him kind of counting heads in the group, and she starts kind of like bickering back and forth with him. Eventually, after a couple of minutes, you see her open up a bag and pull out a handful of credits, passes it off, and the group starts on its way through the entrance.
All right. Start moving with them.
Following behind.
Eltor, as you're making your way across the desk, or like past the desk into the main hall, or room number 3 on the map, you actually notice that there's kind of like a security camera table there.
All right, noted.
Do me a favor, though, since you guys had a couple of threats against the statue, and you kind of slipped in with the group.
Mm-hmm.
Make a hard cool check for me.
Just Altor.
Yep.
Gotcha.
I was going to say, if anyone does stop us and ask about Altor, since he is very out of place, he is my emotional support basilisk.
So hard
You
is
just
2 or
call
3.
me a bodyguard.
3 purple.
This is going to be super interesting. Are you ready? Here we go.
Let's go.
Oh, not great.
So as you start making your way past the desk, the silver droid makes his way over to Altor and approaches him. Excuse me, sir, you're not with them. You're one head. She said you are not with the group. You must pay.
Altor looks offended for a moment. Just for a moment, he says, I never
We
Would
know
have
your type.
believed.
We see your type very often.
What is it? 12? 12 credits?
Yes, 12 credits, sir. No more,
pays.
no less. He pays?
He pays. This is not the hill to die on.
That is true.
You spend that 12 credits.
So he takes the credits, he prints you out a ticket, and says, while you are here, remember, do not touch any of the exhibits. We will be keeping an eye on you.
So the whole
Good day.
time like that's going on, I can just picture IG and I standing behind the droid going.
This
"They
and
just do it
Altor's
now?"
he makes a no signal with his bottom left hand. Says no. So 12 credits lighter. Could have eaten for 2 days on that.
Well, as we slip in, no offense, Altor, but I'm going to kind of move away so that the cameras don't see us together.
That's fine. That's fine.
So everyone's going to kind of split up in the museum?
Yeah, I'm heading towards 10 on the map there.
Kinda
Room
move
number 10?
Toward 4 and take some 3D scans with my super optics.
All right, let me make notes of this. Altor, where are you thinking to head?
So my first instinct would be to slip back in. Given that the cover's blown, I mean, it's not entirely necessary, but in the direction that the tour group went, where did they go?
They're making their way straight down through the center of the museum at this point in time.
Okay, I'm following them for now. Key points of interest for me. Is there a place where they have the jewel on exhibit already? Is it visible? Again, where is the security at?
All right.
I'll have some interest in the structure of the building, but only really once I know the location of the jewel.
Okay. So, Ren, we're going to start with you since you
All
were
right.
the most decisive. You duck straight into, like, you break away from the group and you duck straight into the gift shop. The museum shop is a clean and austere. I'm mispronouncing that. They use big
Austere.
words. Austere. Thank you. I'm just have you proofread this book for me and tell me the words I can't pronounce. It's an austere boutique with patrons may where patrons may purchase souvenirs such as portable holopics, scale models of some of the museum's more popular exhibits. The shelves are stocked with such holobooks as artists' biographies and portfolios, as well as other merchandise depicting famous works of art, some of which have been featured at the museum itself. So it's kind of like what you would picture if you went to any kind of museum or, yeah.
So as I'm meandering, pretending to look very excited about all this crap, I want to peer past that counter there and into room 11. Is that just storage that I'm seeing back there?
In room 11?
Yeah, just kind of peering through.
So you actually, like, you go up to the purchase counter and you're kind of peering in through the doors. Yeah, through the doors you can kind of see just piles of shelves from where you're currently at. As you are actually standing at the counter, this waist-high droid zips around from one of the gift shop shelves, bumps into you on his unipod wheel. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I did not see you there. May I help you? Is there a purchase you would like?
Oh, I think you might have actually heard something. Man.
Oh my. Please, do you need a seat?
It's kind of bright in here. Something might actually be heard. Can I just go back? It looks a little darker back. Can I go back there and just sit down for a second? Can you
No,
take me back there?
I'm sorry, sir. That is for staff only.
Oh, I'm gonna throw up. Kind of nauseous.
Oh, me. Oh my. Well, are our bathrooms are actually right through the cafeteria and to your left.
I don't even know where that is. It's my first time here. I'm a tourist.
If you, he turns around and starts to like panic. He's not used to like human biology and he's not quite sure what's going on. He actually zips around to the corner and starts tapping on a button. From
real quick, the moment he hits that button, I'm counting time in my head, how long it takes the response to get here.
I'd say within about 15 to 20 seconds, you actually see this kind of portly man wearing kind of a security uniform come out through that back room. Comes up and says, W7, you rang? Are you still like dry heaving at that point?
Oh yeah, I'm playing it up big time, like a kid trying to get out of school.
Do me a favor, roll a cool check with 2 purple.
There you go.
2 successes. All right.
2 successes.
So the guard sees you dry heaving and he's like, "Oh no, this way, sir, this way." And he kind of just grabs you by the arm and escorts you through the gift shop, grabs the first chair possible, kind of brings it over to you. Sit down. Let me get you some water and some. Do you need some ice or what can we do?
It's bright in here. I was asking the droid if I could just go in the back and like sit for a second. I think I'd be okay. No, I think I'd be okay if I could just sit for a second.
Oh,
he ran into me. I think he might have broke something.
Oh, should we call paramedics? Are you?
Oh,
If it's bright, yeah. Oh, all right. Okay. And he'll escort you back into the staff room.
All right. I assume that's 11.
Where it said staff only. Yeah.
All right. So I'm making note of everything, just kind of under my hair, looking around.
So when you go back into the room, it is what you expected. It's a storeroom. It's just got like all the stuffed animals and the merchandise that you would normally purchase, stacked on kind of metal shelves, well organized. Are you looking for anything in particular or
Points of ingress and egress, cameras, that type of thing. Anything, surveillance or alarm type equipment I might recognize, as well as lockers. Are there lockers back here?
there are no lockers back there. Go ahead and roll a perception check with 3 purple for me.
All right.
1 failure and 1 threat. So while you're back in the staff room, the guard actually, he kind of catches you kind of scoping out the room, and he kind of takes a step back and he goes, "You seem to have improved quite drastically. What is it quite you said you suffered from?"
Your droid ran into me. I think he might have chipped a bone or something. You know, you break a bone, you get sick.
You know, in hindsight, I'm not quite sure why that would cause stomach problems.
Have you ever broken a bone?
Rapid onset photosensitivity.
You are not there, Altor. You know, I understand. I'll apologize. I'll definitely write this up. We're going to have that W7 quite possibly checked out for defects. But you seem seem to be doing quite well. I bid you good day, sir. The door
Right.
is over there.
I'm only doing well because of your kindness and quick attentiveness to your customer base, and I appreciate it. Most kind. What is your name? Can I write it down? I really want to write a letter to tell your boss how good a job you're doing.
Name's right here, sir. And he's got a name badge that says Butch.
Do you have something I can write that down on, Butch?
They sell stationery in the gift shop.
Wow. I mean, this is for your benefit, but okay. Just trying to help. I mean, at least I'm not running off to, talk to a lawyer about suing the place for damages or anything. But that's fine. That's fine.
And I'm sorry, I didn't, just so for my report, I didn't catch your name. What was your name again?
Fred.
Fred? You got a last name, Fred? You from around here, Fred?
Fred Johnson.
Fred Johnson. All right. Well, Mr. Johnson, I'll make sure W7 gets looked into, and hope you have a safer visit to our fine establishment.
Could I ask one more small favor?
Go ahead.
Do you think you could just maybe walk me to the bathroom?
I think I could arrange that.
I just want to make sure I'm steady and I'm not going to relapse or anything. If you just walk me to the bathroom, I'll be good.
All right. So he'll actually walk you back through the gift shop. You're going to actually make your way through the cafe. And right at the southern edge of the cafe is actually where the gift shop is. Southeast side. Or not the side. You went through the gift shop. The bathrooms are on the southeast side of the cafe. So number 9.
Number
you make your way
9,
through number 9. You do notice it's your pretty run-of-the-mill cafe. They sell different drinks and cafeteria foods. You're going to find like different sandwiches, paninis. Nothing really too grand there.
Is it busy?
We will get to you. You already did your one room, sir. We're now moving on to IG.
Fair enough.
So IG, you actually made it into room number 4. That is the exhibit hall called The Reflections of Zim. It's a room that is a jumble of paintings, sculptures, casts filled with a mix of different artworks. There's some archaeological finds inside of this room as well. Let's see here. What is there worth noting? You notice in particular that a number of the exhibits in this room actually are dated before the Republic.
Okay. Cool. Old things
Mm-hmm.
in a museum.
The kind of on the left wall here, there's that real long sculpture.
Okay.
You actually, that is a plaque on it. It's an antiquity called the Statue of Zim on De Servo. But other than that, nothing exhibit-wise that looks kind of too grand or stands out more than another.
Kind of looks like there's some weapons in that case over there.
Yep, there's going to be some old archaeological finds.
The assassin droid takes a particular interest in the case of ancient weapons.
You actually see that some of them are weapons from like Keshik. So, I got to fix something on here. But anyways, we'll get back to that. A lot of stone and wood weapons.
Observation. The organics have developed some fun methods for murdering each other.
They are. Anything else you're looking for in particular?
No, I'm just kind of like taking a 3D scan of the room with dimensions, layouts, and I watched the security roll out to the Ren situation over in the gift shop through the main hallway.
Do me a favor and roll for perception as well. It'll be also be a hard check, so 3 purple. 2 successes, 3 threats. So you actually notice that in the upper right-hand corner of this room is a very small camera. That's so in the northeast side of this room is a small camera that you can make out is actually scanning the room. And through your 3D scan and your different sensors, you can actually see the wires for that actually seem to run up through the ceiling and the wall and seem to be running towards the reception area. That being said, you kind of have you notice there's some people in the room that are kind of taking a notice to you. They think it's weird that this droid is taking an interest in these human exhibits. No one has approached you yet, though.
Okay, I see no reason to terminate these targets.
All right, Eltor, we're going to move on to you.
All right.
You
Okay.
stayed in room 3, right?
Yeah, I followed along with the tourist group
The tourist group
that preceded us.
Okay. So the tourist group, as they're going to kind of just head straight south down through that main room.
Mm-hmm.
And as you make your way through the room, you're going to notice there's these various different electric signs that glow and flash, advertising the beauty of Bespin in a host of different languages that some you recognize, some you've never seen before. It's a very large hallway, and there's a number of large and impressive glass containers that have been installed around the room, each containing slowly shifting landscapes rendered in colored gases that are held in place by energy fields. As you make
craftsmanship.
And as you make your way through the hall, you notice you can make out by looking through, you can make out that that's the gift shop, that's the cafeteria. As you're making your way down, you actually see Ren sitting in one of the chairs talking to a security guard. And as you pass by, all of a sudden, Ren stands up, acts like he's about to heave, and the security guard kind of whisks him back into the gift shop.
This is not my problem. We will deal later.
But you do notice also that as you make your way through this hall, is that this hall seems to have an entryway into every other room throughout the museum.
Mm-hmm. And this will be critical for doing some path planning later on. Does it have any notable exhibits of its own apart from the gaseous representations of landscapes?
It does not.
All right. Before he does anything, Altor is looking for the jewel. Remind me, because I don't think I've noted it. I thought they had it on display in advance of the auction. I don't remember for sure.
They have it at the museum, but it's currently not on display. What you actually do notice is on that map that I sent you. Let me double check to make sure. You can see it. So room number 7, as you make your way through the most to the kind of like the southern area, they actually have a locked door that actually says auction room on it. And underneath it says private invitation only.
Only. Okay, so that is interesting. That's in room 7 rather than the door to room 7.
The sign is on the door to the room 7.
Okay, perfect. So room 7 is labeled auction private invitation only.
Mm-hmm.
That presents minor difficulties. He will go to room 6, assuming it's not closed off.
It is not. As you make your way into that room, there's actually a sign that says "The Wonders of the Galaxy." And the door leading into this exhibit is flanked by a pair of life-size replicas of brass soldiers in Oxum.
This is very silly. Altor, not a man of culture. Yeah, so I will go into room 6. If you want to do another transition right now, feel free. But Altor was trying to get eyes on before he did anything too suspicious. So it would be relatively light what he does.
Hey, Chance, the question came up in chat. What edition we're using?
This is Fantasy... I can't remember the name of the company at the moment. Fantasy Flight Games.
Fantasy Flight.
This is the book. It's The Edge of the Empire.
Have they done multiple editions of this?
They have. There's
I know there's different 4.
There's a 5th edition
settings, essentially. Okay.
There's a 5th edition homebrew that actually the Featherfall group are running. There's a 2D20 or a D20 edition. There's a couple of different editions out there. This is the first one I've played though. I'm really enjoying it. Saga, that's true. All right, so we're going to bounce. We're going to bounce back to Ren, who has just been led to the bathrooms.
Is he coming into the bathroom with me?
Nope. That would be awkward.
Well, I mean, it's like an open bathroom. I'm not talking about into the toilet. Just
no. At this point, he just, because of your failed check in the other room, he's a little suspicious of you, and he'll escort you there and kind of step away as far as you can tell.
So, does he at least get me to the door?
Yeah, he'll take you actually to the hallway that leads to the bathrooms and tells you right down that way to your right.
So, how busy is it right here?
In that area, there's a couple of people, couple of older people whose species you can't quite make out, sitting around a table, sharing a drink, discussing the educational points of some of the exhibits.
Okay, no, I was gonna murder him, but my gut's telling me not to. I don't want to frag the whole thing before we actually get started by, murdering a guard. Thank you, Butch. You've been a real pleasure.
Not a problem. Be safe.
You too, Butch. You too. So is that a stairway I'm seeing?
On the map?
Just past the bathroom entrance. Is that stairs going down or something?
Just past the entrance.
No, I mean, off to the side there. There's like a little hole, a break in the exterior wall.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
So what am I looking at? Looking down there. Now that Butch is out of sight.
It looks to be a service, like a droid service panel. Service droid panel. That's the word.
Could I walk all the way down to it?
You can get about halfway down to it before you hit this metal wall that appears to have a sliding door.
Oh, this isn't my area of expertise, but I'm going to take note to share this with the other two
Okay.
as a potential useful bit of information. I'm going to real quick peek into the bathroom. Kind of go up. I assume, is there a mirror or some type of reflective service or video hollowed panel?
Yeah, I mean, it's a private bathroom. It is very well maintained and cleaned. There's mirrors by each sink. It's your run of the mill bathroom.
All right, so I walk up to the sink, kind of wash my hands, and using the mirror, I want to look, kind of case the room. I want to make sure there's no cameras in here.
Roll perception for me.
A perception?
Yes, sir. 3. I don't know how you're doing horrible with the threat tonight. So you kind of make your way through the room, and you're not being too discreet about it. You're looking underneath all the counters. You're checking the waste bins, going into each stall, scoping it out. When one of the old women that you saw in the other room, sharing a coffee, walks into the room and just kind of stares at you a little awkwardly.
Am I in the ladies' room? Did I mistakenly go into the wrong one?
No. Here on Bespin at the museum, they're all unisex, but this is a little awkward. What, may I ask, are you doing?
Well, I had an incident in the gift shop, and I almost threw up, and I have a little vomit in my nose. And I was really looking for a tissue, and I didn't want to use toilet paper because my nose is sensitive, and tissue's much softer.
She just kind of nods at you and says, "Well, I hope you feel better," and slowly kind of just backs away a little creeped out.
Wait, you don't have a rag or
At
a
that,
handkerchief?
she turns around and just starts walking a little bit quicker.
I'll go back to what I was doing.
Okay. You don't make, there's nothing in here. There's privacy concerns even on Bespin.
So it's a blind spot.
Mm-hmm. As far as you can tell.
Okay. In that case, yeah. No, that's good. I'm going to walk out and just kind of case the cafeteria, sit down, and just kind of act like I'm catching my breath while looking the room over.
Okay. We're going to go to IG, so you're going to spend some time in there. Pretty thorough investigation of the bathrooms. IG, what do you got? Where do you want to go from here? All right, we might have lost IG. So we're going to...
Sorry.
He's just a little muted is all.
Oh, there we go. All right, IG.
I'm
Where do you
gonna
want to go?
route down to room 5 and kind of scope that room.
All right. So as you make you're picking all the real fun rooms. You make it into the Hollow Pix gallery. This is a gallery that is hung with a number of wide sheet-like screens showing landscapes and space visuals. These are not photographic captures, but layers upon layers of graphic paintwork built into three-dimensional scenes. The holopix are stunningly beautiful, and the light levels can be adjusted to better suit the eyes of the viewer.
Fancy.
Indeed.
Yeah.
There's about maybe 5 people in this room, all just kind of standing around observing the artwork. They seem like they've all been here before, but they continue to return to see the new exhibits.
Well, I kind of hang out and use my special 360 vision to look at all of the awesome art from perspectives that these organics can't, to better appreciate it than they're capable of.
Okay. Or so you think.
Or so I'm led to believe.
Okay. Are you scanning for security and stuff in here too?
Yes, but I'm
Alright.
also appreciating the art while I'm scanning the building.
So with I'm just going to keep your previous roll for this one. You notice in this room, in the the northeast corner, is the same kind of camera, and you notice the wires run through the walls north.
Okay, kind of following the dividing wall.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. How many?
There's just one camera in here.
Okay.
And now we're going to go to Altor. You entered room 6, right?
Did.
So one thing in room 6 is while you're in there, you make your way to like one of the center exhibits, and it's a glass cabinet that displays archaic finds from recent excavations on Coruscant ice crypts, scale models of towering Shocking Spire and different autonomon throughout history. But particularly, you notice a man leaves room 7, and he kind of follows that dotted line from the south through the western door. And you notice he has a little bit of a limp.
Is he in civilian clothes or is he dressed as a security guard?
He's a tall, dark-skinned man in security.
And he left through the door that was into the main hall 3.
Mm-hmm.
Making notes of this as we go. 7. When I saw him leave, did he relock that door behind him?
It seemed to have been automated.
Okay, so it's automated. He's got some kind of credentials, proximity probably. Altor notes this. From 6, he'll take a brief glance at the exhibits and say, oh, this is nice. Look at this. Archaeology, very fancy. And he'll look for the door to 7.
Like to observe it?
Yeah.
It's also locked. As you approach it, it doesn't open. You're right. It is like some kind of proximity sensor. It also has a sign on it that says auction room invite only.
Okay, so given that, Altor is now going to observe for security here in room 6. He will look for cameras. He will also examine the structure of the walls.
Okay.
This being his kind of his specialty. He's interested, are they hollow for maintenance? Are they run with wiring? Are they steel? Are they something that could be easily punched through?
Go ahead and roll perception for me. This will be 3 purple as well.
Okay, let me find my perception.
You don't see anything in this room. As far as you can tell, the only security in this room is the metal door. That being said, you can make out that the walls are solid stone, as far as you can tell, made from very luxurious. Uh, they'd be like big marble blocks. Is probably the closest thing I could describe them to. You don't know what kind of stone it is, though.
Okay, but it's some form of stone. It's solid. It's structural.
Yes,
It's nice.
interesting. Pleasant. for
very
the rich.
smooth to the touch.
Okay. He leans against one briefly while he's doing this particular analysis. Internally, he's thinking, the stone, it presents problems you can't punch through, but is opportunity as well. You barricade a door, they cannot come through wall to get you. Was it the same in the other rooms?
As far as you can tell, the same stone runs throughout the museum.
Okay. Altor will linger here in 6, looking at the exhibits, waiting for the next security guard
Okay.
to see if one enters this room.
I would say also, do me a favor, roll a 2 purple. Let me look at your sheet real quick. See what I want you to roll against.
Go on. I have a number of abilities. Many of them are bad. Some of them are good.
Roll a 2 purple mechanics check for me.
Gotcha.
That's probably the closest thing I could think of.
I have 1 success.
1 success. So while you're not too sure the kinds of stone or too familiar with this type of architect style, you do know that most populous and tourist type locations do have a construction guild that will typically keep different blueprints or historical documents about different buildings throughout the area.
Yes, indeed. This is what Altor would be familiar with. He is something of a civil engineer for hire in the underworld.
Yep.
Deconstructive engineer.
But so yeah, you'd be familiar that there may be a construction guild on Bespin.
So, given that he's not able to perform his assessment in person unless he manages to lift or tag his way in, which is part of why he's waiting for a guard to pass through.
At this point, if you kind of hang out and make your way through, kind of observe the different artifacts and the different exhibits in this room in particular, you do notice there are different security guards that actually kind of follow the same path. They seem to run through not regular, but not on any necessarily set pattern as well. If you're there, we'll say you're there, maybe takes you 15 to 20 minutes to casually make your way through the different exhibits, and like you're reading through every pamphlet, you're really into it. You notice there's maybe 2 different guards that make a way through the same pattern.
All right. One final thing that he'll do here in the room before you move on. He's not able to observe directly where they'll put the jewel, but he is able to observe their general security. He looks at these exhibits for any alarm mechanisms or security features that they may have.
Ooh. For that, give me... Are you touching the exhibits? Let me ask that.
No, given that he was warned in advance, he will not be touching any of the cases, but he's a skilled mechanic. His skullduggery is quite powerful.
So
He should be able to recognize things like vibration sensors or laser distance gauges for opening things by sight.
Give me a perception with 1 purple and
Okay.
add 1 blue dice, because the protocol droid telling you to keep your hands off the exhibit is giving you a boost because you're intrigued into why.
Why, indeed.
And most places like this is going to. So, all right, you got 2 success and a triumph. You can tell right away that all of the exhibits in this room are outfitted with electro rails. And what these are, with each exhibit, there's these metal rails that are very thin, that are like built into the frames or very artfully built around the exhibits, that from your knowledge of different security systems, you know that if someone gets too close or touches an exhibit like this, it would generally set off a warning as well as put up a force field. And different exhibits, and depending on how they're configured, can do anything from an electrical stun to some kind of sonic pulse, to in different areas where they're not really worried about loss of product, could even be used for explosives.
Interesting. Interesting. We can assume pretty reasonably that they won't be attaching explosives to the jewel, but they will undoubtedly be willing to deploy a more lethal deterrent for that one. So, Altor makes careful note of this, and you may feel free to move the scene. He would be moving out of the room by this point.
Okay. Church, back to you. You're done checking every single tank for every single toilet and find absolutely no security devices in the bathroom.
All right, so blind spot. And I was sitting in the cafeteria.
Oh, all right. So you moved to the cafeteria and you were observing in there, right? And then kind of scoping out. You
Yeah.
do notice the cafeteria does have a security camera in the northeast side overlooking the registers. While you're in the cafeteria, though, you do actually see a maintenance droid that kind of zips out from behind the counter, makes its way through the cafeteria, sweeping up the floors. It will actually, the route from what you can tell, actually goes north into the gift shop, from the gift shop into the hall you were at. And then roughly 10 minutes later or so, you notice it actually zips up from the hallway in the south back into the room and makes its way back again behind the register.
As if it made a full circuit and like went into another access tunnel and then came out the one I was looking at.
Yep.
Okay. Do I know the rough size of the jewel?
You've seen pictures of it.
Just
And
rough, like is it fist sized, head sized?
They do actually have a lot of different marketing material around the museum about the jewel itself. So I'm going to throw up a picture of that. And if you're in the stream, you can see a picture. I'm going to carry it over to our Discord for those of you who are not in the stream, so you can kind of see what this jewel looks like.
So it is roughly fist sized.
Yeah, it is a large jewel.
Is there a napkin dispenser on my table?
Yeah, why not?
I'm going to really quick kind of reach in and just pull out like napkins, a whole mess of them, wad them up into about that size wad real tight in my hand.
So give me 1 second. I need to switch back to this. I'm going to flip that. And as you're doing that, you kind of, you get this sense that someone's watching you.
I start rubbing them on my face.
Okay.
kind of honk my nose in it a little bit.
You actually notice Butch is standing next to this tall, dark-skinned male in a security outfit, kind of leaning over, whispering to him, and kind of nods his head over in your direction.
Oh, I see this?
Yeah, out of the corner of your eye, you see it.
Oh, well, in that case, I'm going to stand up and whip around. And as I do, drop the fist-side wad of napkins on the floor. And out of the corner of my eye, I want to watch this thing pick it up. And as I do what I'm about to do,
You're going to watch what pick it up?
I'm watching for the droid to pick it up.
Okay.
I want to see how it does it, and if it puts it in itself to carry it, or if it just carries it in a pincer or whatever. But as I'm watching that out of the corner of my eye, I want to go, Butch! Oh, Butch! Butch! There he is. There's my hero. Hey, buddy, come here.
So with that, Butch actually turns around and walks away, and the tall, dark-skinned man actually works his way over to you, looks you up and down, and says, "How's it going, sir? My name's Burr." Butch kind of explained to me the situation you were having. He kind of looks at the napkins and says, "Is everything all right?"
I'm actually feeling much better. Butch, I told him I didn't have anything to write with. I was going to write a letter to his boss telling what a fantastic job he did. The little bot in there, he ran into me. I think he might have hurt or sprained or dislocated, but it made me get kind of ill. You know, I don't like to say this out loud, but you know, I'm frail, you know, not very healthy, but you know, it made me a little ill and got a little light sensitive. He took me in the bag, let me sit down for a minute, and he brought me over here to the bathroom. I was able to wash off and blow my nose. That weird little lady over there came into the bathroom and stared at me. It was really uncomfortable. All that aside, I managed to wash my face a little. I was just sitting here kind of regaining my composure. And yeah, then you came up. It's a pleasure. Are you his boss?
Not directly, but we collaborate with the museum security. What brought you to the museum today?
Oh, I'm just in town for a little bit. My ship's getting worked on. I thought, let's go see what all the fuss is about. I mean, this place is pretty popular.
It is, especially with all the fine exhibits. It brings in a lot of the tourists. You natively from Bespin, or are you visiting?
Oh, just visiting. Just visiting. It's my first time through, though. It's a fantastic place. I've never seen such wonder.
It is. Did you come here specifically for the exhibit, or some of the casinos? You here for work release? What brings you?
Oh, no, I wish it was something fun like that. No, I'm just, you know, a bit of a dilettante. I've got money to blow and just kind of making my way across the galaxy, stopping at all the things. It's on my bucket list. You know, it's one of the things I wanted to see before the sickness took me and I died.
Wow, that's seems tragic. Well, let me tell you. You will not find any better casinos in this area of the galaxy than you will here in Bespin. If you are a gambling man, I highly recommend checking out some of the casinos.
Well, you know, it's strange you mentioned that. I actually had a droid built from a repurposed IG unit specifically to accompany me for gambling. He's actually roaming around here somewhere. You might have seen him. He's not the biggest personality in the world, but he's just a big teddy bear when you get to know him.
He kind of goes, they usually don't allow droids in the casinos, card counting and all.
Oh no, he's completely on board. He lives for the thrill of chance. No pun intended.
That seems a little awkward. I'm not sure many casinos. I have occasionally seen some, probably visiting the Trust Casino down in the Port District, but And you definitely aren't going to be able to get a droid in the casinos up on this level.
Oh no, I understand. Can I let you in on a little secret?
Please do.
The thing I have that's killing me slowly is actually a fairly communicable disease. It spreads really easy, and well, it was the best thing I could do to build a friend that won't catch it, that I don't have to constantly worry. I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder because it just really it hurts when people run away from you when you feel like I do, and excuse me, sorry.
So do me a favor, roll a 2 purple deception and add 1 red to it.
Oh no.
Not much of a liar.
So
Not really.
he's going to look you up and say, so what did you mention the name of this communicable disease was again?
Tourette's.
Can't say I've ever heard of that one. Sounds quite horrible though.
Are you familiar with my people at all? The Nagai?
I've heard of them. You're kind of a warring race, aren't you?
Oh no, that's old news. That's granddad's territory.
Well, I need to continue my rounds. I'm sorry, what did you say your name was again?
Fred Johnson.
Fred Johnson. That's right. Well, best of luck to you there, Fred. I need to be on my way. And he gets up, and you notice he has a subtle limp as he works his way out of the cafeteria.
I make a mental note of his limp.
IG, we're on to you.
Hello.
Hello.
So I've kind of finished scanning around in room 5, taking all of the 3D scans and the dimensions.
You did.
I'd like to kind of proceed into the southern half of room 3. Maybe take a look at the door for room 8.
You would do that, wouldn't you?
I would.
So
Can
door
I get
8,
a scan of like room 3?
Yeah, I'll let
and
you.
kind of like
You notice
take
a
an
trend.
interest on the door for room 8 because I assume I probably can't get in there.
You notice there's a trend in all the rooms as you kind of passively scan them, and that they all have security cameras in the upper north section of the room. And all of the cameras have wiring. And even what looks to be wiring coming out of the other rooms all seem to run to the center walls of the hallway and head north to the reception area. But if you go and visit like room 8, it's an unlocked storage door. You look inside, there's just shelves of cleaning fluids, solvents. There's different containers of garbage. The eastern wall to the south of there appears to be a large chute for waste disposal, extremely large. There's a pair of droids in the room. There's you being a droid actually can make out the specific models of these droids, being the CLE-004 window cleaning droid and a T3 utility droid that has a built-in floor polisher.
Awesome. I kind of want to hack the droids.
Okay. To do what?
I want a time delay, and I want them to cause some sort of a distraction in 3 days during the gala.
Go
I want them to
ahead.
like bust out of this. I think I want to program something into them that just triggers for and like a time delay during the
So
gala, and like they come out and cause a distraction or something
I'm gonna
that
have
we
you
can use
do.
later.
I'm gonna have you do 2 rolls to try and pull this off. First one, I want you to try and roll a stealth check for me, because I imagine something like this, you don't want to have security notice you mucking around with the droids, right?
Right.
So
So I've kind of probably closed the broom closet door too.
roll, because you know where the camera is at. I'm going to give you a boost dice, but roll a hard check, because you're going to have to time going into the room while the camera is kind of scanning it, unless you can kind of think of a way to block the camera view.
No, I suppose probably just time it.
Okay. So go ahead and roll a 3 purple with 1 blue added onto your stealth. So 4 successes. You get in there super fast. I'm going to say that the camera actually catches motion going into the broom closet, but you were in there quick enough to where it wouldn't be able to identify really who you are. Just that a metallic object went into the room and that the door closed is kind of what someone on the camera would have saw.
Okay.
So now I'm going to have you roll a computers check. These are pretty typical maintenance droids, but if you're going to want to embed some type of computer program into the system to where through their nightly maintenance isn't going to be detected, I'm going to have you roll a computers check with 2 purple, 1 red. All right, straight 2 successes. As far as you can tell, you pulled it off.
Sweet.
And what it's just, I want to make this note. In 3 days' time, you said?
Yes.
You're going to want it to do what?
Cause some sort of a distraction. You said it's a window cleaning robot and a floor cleaning robot?
There's a window cleaning and a floor cleaning. You have enough time to hack one of them.
Oh, okay.
What's your preference?
I want the floor cleaning one to just kind of start running around and like cleaning the floor at noon that day instead of like 2 a.m.
So is your objective to get it to go off during the middle of the auction?
Yes.
All right. And we're not going to say noon. We'll say during auction time.
Okay.
All right.
I just altered its like maintenance cycle timing, so it'll go off then
instead of running like every 20 minutes on that day.
Right.
It may not go off at all until a set time. No, that works. You pulled it off as far as you know.
Cool.
All right. At this point, you've been, like, the whole group's been here for a good steady couple of hours. I'd say you've been here for, we'll say 3 hours between all the different rooms and all the kind of the security checks. Each one of you has kind of picked up that there is a bit of a routine to the museum. You all kind of notice so on that map that you have, that you all see, you see that dotted line that goes around it. You notice that on a set pattern, security follows that dotted line. In between each security round, either the window cleaning droid or the floor cleaning droid will go out. you weren't able to really distinguish a pattern of like whether the floor cleaning droid or the window, like it wasn't, and you weren't there long enough to see a pattern there, but one of those droids in that time followed between. Would everyone be okay with taking a break at this point?
It
It's all-
feels like the right time.
Okay.
Yeah, take
Feels like
5.
the right time.
All right. We will be right back. You know what? I'm thinking we need to make some like Star Wars fake promos for like the different corporations in the galaxy. Get your DL-44 blaster rifles, clip pistols.
Empire recruitment propaganda.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we'll be back shortly. All right. So we're back. You finish scoping out the museum. And oddly enough, as you guys are about to get back together and discuss all your findings about the museum and collaborate, you get
Outside the museum?
Yeah, like as you're walking out the main door, you get an encrypted message. You don't know who it's from. It's kind of a blocked number that says delivery complete.
Bleep, bloop, bleep, bloop. Must be the ship.
Yeah, should we go check that out?
Yeah.
Or while we're up here, is there something else we wanted to do?
I'd say we go check it out. We want to make sure we didn't get ripped off.
Good call.
Everyone agree? The Shogun or Eltor, you with the group, or are you gonna go somewhere else? I thought you said everyone was back. Is Eltor not back?
Oh, I thought he was.
He might not be back.
He'd go along with our plan.
Here,
It's all right.
just like you two jumping the gun, not
Whoops.
getting Eltor's input. No, that's fine. He'll be okay with it. So we're gonna say the group decides to make their way back to the ship, to the starport or landing pad. As you arrive, you see a cloud car.
Just in time.
stripped. There you go. So the group unanimously meaning they spoke for you, decided
Yeah, that's fine.
to go back. So you make your way back to the landing pad and you find cloud car there, stripped to the bare metal. No color, just straight metal.
Now you say strip.
Does it run?
We had made arrangements to still have an engine, some weapon hardpoints. They're even going to throw in some guns for free.
So you guys are going to inspect the vehicle?
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
I have no idea what that thing is.
Who do you think the group's best mechanic is?
It is kind of a toss-up, honestly. That's what Altor does, but IG is a droid and has an interest in vehicles.
Can't they just work together?
Yeah, I mean,
One can actually help the other and give a boost dice.
I got
but-
2 yellow, bro. What you got?
I got 3 green.
2 yellow trumps.
Yeah, it kind
Alright.
of does. You go for it. I will assist.
I will take your boost dice.
So you'll roll your mechanics with a boost dice against. This can be an easy one, just one purple.
Oh, easy. There you go.
All right. So you look through the vehicle, engine's there. It does have weapon hardpoints. It did come equipped with weapons. Do you have a preference on what kind of weapons you want? Probably not. Not that versed into the upgrades.
Yeah, I don't really know what the upgrades are, but I want something that goes boom, and I want something that goes like zap, zap, zap.
Zippity zap.
Yeah.
Gotta go fast, gotta go blast.
But yeah, I want to make an explosion kind of. So if I could have like some sort of rocket launchers or missile tubes and like
So I'm just gonna remind you guys, shooting
railgun would
out the
be cool.
competition is allowed.
can I have a
Murder
railgun?
is not. So just keep that in mind.
Oh,
You will be disqualified, hunted down, and quite possibly arrested if caught.
yikes. Okay. Shoot. Then I guess just like some EMP stuffs.
All right. So we'll work on doing some like vehicle upgrade stuff off screen,
Okay.
just for the sake of storyline and keeping everything moving. But it is, as far as you can tell, it is a sturdy and good quality cloud car. Not only is it a cloud car, it looks identical to the cloud car that you were investigating and looking at the other day.
You may recall Altor actually memorized the numbers off of that one and had performed a close inspection. I would like Altor to give it a close look to see, did they just go and steal that man's cloud car?
The numbers are different.
That's good. But did they go and steal that man's cloud car? He has a powerful background in exactly this sort of work.
As far as you can tell, this is the car. But what you do notice, and this is because you actually rolled with so much advantage, they actually threw in changing the transponder codes on it, or the registration codes on it. They weren't originally going to do that.
So, Altor turns to the boys. We have minor issue. He's scratching his face. Is same car.
What does that mean
Same
for us?
car. Can't be same car. They make these by the thousand.
Is same car. It's very same car. They change numbers, change registration, transponder, everything. It's same car.
So what does that mean for us?
Well, if we were to go, say, to see this Rudy, he would no longer have car. If we were to go back to Rudy's friend, Marl, that we need for mechanic, he may have heard his friend Rudy no longer has car. Shortly after we visit.
And show up with new car.
And show up with new car. Numbers not matching, but no
Rudy's
paint.
car.
Little suspicious.
Yeah.
So what happens if we play the honest angle?
Can we call Eris and get a new mechanic?
Well, there was, what is the Honest Breck? I believe we may need to go see Honest Breck.
Well, what if we play the honest angle? What if we go to Rudy and say, hey, we bought this car not knowing where they were getting it. They stole it from you. And maybe see if we can't earn some points that way. We paid for it fair and square. He's got to honor the deal we paid for. But
now,
we
you
didn't
see,
pay
I
it
do
to
not
him.
know.
he
I
doesn't
do
know
not
that.
know if
He
you
might
are
want
familiar.
revenge.
I do not know if you are familiar, Rin, with Cloud City law, but cannot have legal contract for illegal business.
Yeah, but none of this was really legal, was it?
No, which means if we go see Rudy, we no longer have a car. They take car. In fact, they take car. They take us. They run warrants. We all stay here a very long time. It
So
would take 2 months at least to break out of this jail.
well, in that case, why don't we do this? Let's go see Rudy, murder him, take all his stuff, and then use it to upgrade with his friend.
I feel like you miss important part. Where is friend?
Yeah, but he won't know the guy's dead. He won't know we did anything to it. We'll just stuff the body down a trash compactor and nobody'd be the wiser.
I mean, how good of a friend could this guy have really been if he sent an assassin droid to find him?
Fair play.
That's fair. I say honest Breck.
You know, my vibra knives have just been really thirsty for so long.
Patience. Rin, patience.
And I didn't like Rudy either. That dude was a jerk.
He sells cars.
You know, what if we killed him, took all his stuff, maybe even found a second car that we could scrap for parts and mix and match to get the best possible outcome?
What
I
if
mean,
we just
and we've got loads of opportunities to take things.
wait? What if we go back and see him, not mention the car, see that he's distraught over the loss of it, offer to help him? I don't know,
I
get
like
revenge
this.
against whoever thefted it.
Well, what if we told him we could get his stolen car back, give it a little
Yeah,
time, and then return with it and be like, all right, now you owe us.
right.
Altor has his face in one enormous palm. When his face comes back out of his hand, there's grease on it now, but you can hardly really tell the difference.
Is that not a good? I know I'm a little bit of a blunt instrument here. Is that not a good idea?
If you have lunch of other man in hand, if you hold his sandwich in your hand, and you walk back to his home to have pleasant conversation, under what conditions do you think you walk back out with sandwich still?
I think I understand the analogy, but honestly, after somebody else has slobbered on my sandwich, I don't want it anymore.
Imagine sandwich worth 50,000 credits.
Fair play.
Yeah,
No.
but how does he know that we have his sandwich?
When organic friend call organic friend on communicator, they tend to communicate.
Well, that brings us
Yeah.
right full circle to the just kill him thing, right?
When organic friend lose organic friend, and Rin, I feel you should know. He become very distraught, and perhaps suspicious of strangers he recently sent. Honest
Get
Breck.
me here. All right, I'll tell you what. You know, as much as I feel like we should just cut both of them down at this point. But I know deep down in my big bleeding heart that I'm probably wrong. IG, I envy your cold, calculating, droidic nature. All right, let's go see Honest Breck. But if Honest Breck doesn't do us a solid, we murder all three of them and just take what we want and go somewhere else entirely. Fair?
Is fair.
Fair. Okay. IG, you with us on that one?
Yeah, that can work. I'm tremendously excited to begin draining all of the blood.
And when this is over, we can come back and kill all four of them, right? And just take all their stuff.
If you somehow have time on way out the door, yes. I'm not going to stop.
Nah, I'm going to keep that. We're gonna put attack in that one. We'll come back to that. Let's
So
go
everyone-
see Honest Breck.
So, you guys go to, say, one of the closest computer terminals, and you look up where Honest Grek
Grek
is located.
See, you only said it once. Let me
Yep.
change my notes.
Yep. Grek. Honest Grek is located in the industrial level. So I just threw up a map on the stream, and number 10 on that map. So he's like right at the heart of Bespin, like right in the center of the lower levels. And that's getting into the industrial level. And the industrial level is where a lot of the Tabana gas mining and processing takes place. So as you make your way through there, you're going to see a lot of different processing plants, a lot of different tubes, steam coming out of many different vents. It's warmer than the levels near the top. There's going to be a lot of different repulsor lifts. A lot of Ugnaughts live down in here as well. Kind of just everyone's hustling, bustling. But as you approach Honest Grex, you start noticing these signs. They're kind of like those LED signs that you kind of see at certain places or on the banks that kind of flash through the different time and the bank name and the weather. But only on these signs, as you get closer, the words kind of process differently, and each one's in a different language. Or each sign has the same message that scrolls through in different languages. The first sign you run past as you're getting closer to it says, "Finest speeders on Bespin." Second sign you see when you get a little bit closer says, "You can trust me." Right outside his shop is a sign that says, "Because I'm Honest Greg."
So I'm going to go ahead and start shining my blades a little bit now, preparatorily. But Altor, why don't you do the talking on this one?
Altor observes the blades and he says, "It's a good idea."
All right.
Did we fly down here in the cloud car? That would be hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, you had to get it down here somewhere, but it's only a 2-seater, so it's like you're driving. The way I picture it, unless you tell me differently, is you're waking your way through this industrial level. 2 people inside the car with like Ren kind of sitting on the hood of the car, just sharpening his blades.
That works.
Let me know
He
if you
is the
disagree
weapon
with that,
system.
though.
Nah, I'm with this. We register him as the weapon system for the car. Yeah, he just jumps off the front and like takes out your engine block. It's fine.
I am the weapon hardpoint.
For now. Is that how we're going to do the race?
All right, so someone needs to watch the car. You don't leave a cloud car parked on the street in the industrial district and expect to come back to it.
Not melted down.
I'm going to look over at IG and be like, all right, rock, scissors, paper. Oh, you can't really do that, can you?
I'll put myself on sentry.
Fair enough.
All right, so 2 of you go inside.
Yeah.
All right, so you make your way inside the shop. It's a pretty bare shop. Kind of when you walk in, there's going to be a high counter where you kind of see the registration. There's a bunch of different data pads on the back wall that look like they might be for different vehicles and different manuals. Scattered on a side door leads into the actual shop itself. And you notice there's different servos, different parts, pieces that you've never seen before, kind of scattered all over. You can kind of tell Honest Greg isn't exactly the most organized person compared to like Merrill, where you went into that shop. It was very clean. It was very proper. It seemed like a well-run establishment. This place has like grease everywhere. You can tell that the shop gets a lot of business, but he's not exactly the most like well organized or making a lot of money.
I'm so comfortable right now. Altor's just home almost.
So where is this honest Shrek guy?
So, are you saying that?
Yeah.
Kind of around the corner, you see a door open up real quick, and this guy kind of he slides out on his feet. He's like, "Did someone say Honest Greg? I'm Honest Greg. Who are you? Who sent you? I'm Honest Greg. Need some work? I'm Honest Greg.
I thought it was on a Shrek.
No, Greg, but hey, it happens all the time. What can I do you for? Are you here for the race? You got a car? I got business. I'll help you out. What you got?"
See, this is so much easier than before.
I'm gonna lean over to Altor and be like, "Are you sure I can't just stab this guy? He's already getting on my nerves."
So
No. Peace.
Honest Greg, he's a human male.
Mm.
I'd say 40s to 50s from what you can make out. He's got one sleeve cut off where he has a metallic cybernetic arm. It's not one of those fancy arms that has like fleshy human bits. It's just like straight up metal. He doesn't hide it.
Dear sir, we have come for race, as you guess.
Great place to come for race. I can help you. I'm Honest Greg. What you looking for? What's your name?
We need mechanic services.
I
for
can help you with that.
preparation.
Best mechanic around, Honest Greg. Let people know.
Now, as a specialist, even though he's a little disorganized, and no doubt he sees a lot of traffic through here, especially in the industrial sector, Altor would like to evaluate both the shop and the man for competence.
Okay. So you're gonna kind of just quiz him about like different scenarios. You're gonna like let him know what kind of car you have and what you're looking for, type thing.
Yeah, I'll give him an open-ended one. I'll tell him the make and model of the cloud car and ask what his normal race modifications might be for that model. And I'll also be eyeing his shop. Even a disorganized mechanic shop is going to have, some gear if they're good and some other gear if they're not so good.
So the model you give, he actually starts rattling off stats to it. And what he'll do is, so you give him the model of the car you have, and he kind of thinks it over for a second. And what he actually starts to do, he goes, "You got a second? Honest Greg, got some books. I have no problems looking things up, but give me a second. That model, that's something about it. That kind of, it sticks out to Honest Greg. Honest thinks he has something. Don't really get too many of that model around, but and he pulls out a piece of paper and he's like, "Yes, I know why that model stood out to me. I get them every now and then. That model is primarily used by the Bespin Ring Guard. Every now and then they make their way south down. Repurposed models, repoed models, different things, they get upgraded. They bring them to Honest Greg. But what I can tell you about that, the max altitude for that model, 100 kilometers. You can really, that'd be a fine vehicle for the race, let me tell you. The best part about that model, if you could land your hands on one of those, Honest Greg would be your man for upgrading it. Those things are actually sturdier than most other cloud cars, because since they're made for the wing guard and they got to do a little bit of rubbing and bumping, they're going to be taking some fire. They made those vehicles to stand up to the environment. Honest Greg would love to fix that. Do you got one of those?
Ah, my dear friend, come outside, you see. And I gesture him back out front where he should be able to see the cloud car. It's not as if we parked very far away.
Okay. So yeah, he walks outside, he looks at the vehicle, he whistles, he rubs his hand and metallic hands together and goes, "Whoo-hoo-ee. That's a beaut right there. I once had a vehicle like that. That's how I lost my hand. I was racing one of these things. I had a partner back in the day. I got so excited. I went to go flip off another racer, shot my hand right off."
See, this is downside of your people, you see. You have none to spare.
No people to spare?
No arms. Altor
Oh.
holds up all his arms.
I tell you what, Honest Greg did not lose one night's sleep about it. Now I got a story. And he waves his kind of hand at you.
There's a lot of
Fair.
finite parts to you humans.
There is,
guess
but that's
fair.
what makes the race so great. You have the wind in your hair, the adrenaline through your blood, and wait. I get the sense that you're a man of action. You've raced before, haven't you?
Me or him?
You. He's talking to Ren.
Have I raced?
Yes, I get the sense you're a man of thrill and adventure. Honest Greg can smell his own.
Is it Drek with a D?
No, Greg with a G.
Friend Greg.
Name on many signs around.
Our racer, he has not blood, nor adrenaline, nor smell, unless you think of grease. Our racer is our friend, this IG unit right here.
Oh.
Sit up out of the chair.
IG, could you come and loom menacingly over our new friend here?
Yeah, sure. Kind of like walk over and join the group, still keeping an eye on the cloud car. But
So you're looking to give the Razor a run for his own, aren't you?
Razor?
Yes.
We are in town for race. We have not fully scoped all competition yet.
Oh, there's some good ones.
we're just here to win.
Well, you're gonna have some competition for that. I mean, you got yourself the Stormhawks, you got yourself the Carbines, and then you got yourself Razor. Those are probably the three favorites to win. Razor, I get the sense that you're kind of going after his route. He's got himself a droid companion himself.
In this case, it will be more that droid has fleshly companion. You know droids, reflexes. He holds a hand like way above his head, saying like all the way up here. And this one, he is very top-notch. Well lubricated as well.
Well, that would be quite interesting then. See, most competitors usually use their droids as the gunner. It's been a few years since there's actually been a droid racer, but I think you could pull that off. You use Honest Greg services, we can get this beaut, throw a little bit of paint on it, make this thing stand out, a little bit of glitz, a little bit of glamour. Come up with yourself a catchphrase. Well, just team name and catchphrase. Paint it right on the side. We'll do a little bit of upgrades. Make this the best vehicle. I think you might win. You get my help, and of course we got to talk payment. But I think I think we can make this work.
On subject of payment, let us discuss plan of action and pricing. What do you feel, Greg?
Well, what would you say your team's strength is? You going for speed? You going for blast? You going for durability? What would be your strategy in the race?
That's something to wipe out all the other cars in like a big blast radius.
Wow. Wiping out the other cars historically doesn't go with big booms. Big booms tend to lead to death, frowned upon. But everyone loves a good engine that shorts out, catches on fire.
I'm thinking one of those electromagnetic electromagnetic, flamin, no, not flamin. What am I thinking? The big pulse that shuts down things. A filet mignon.
He's just kind of staring at you like he's lost. Well, Honest Greg hasn't really quite run into any kind of filet thingamajiggers. I mean, we can, if the
Altor, what am I trying to say?
you're kind of getting into quite possibly the challenge. I think you're talking about an electronic magnetic pulse.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So
It's
here's
true,
the problem with those.
It's droid pilot.
Yes, you might have a bit of a problem.
So can we make a launchable one?
What? No, I'm EM shielded.
Oh, even better. There you go. See?
Now is rated for point blank vehicle clearing electromagnetic pulse.
I mean, it's going off around me, not. I'm in the eye of the storm. Cool.
So
No, my friend, you recall, is cube of distance. You're in heart of explosion.
All right,
let's
well,
ask
let's go back
what
to
kind
my
of.
idea about the launchable one then.
Let's start by what kind of budget do you have to work with? Because I will tell you, Honest Greg typically does different augmented buffers. We can put in some maneuvering thrusters, a repulsor enhancement, some upgraded firepower. Those are typically what Honest Greg gets involved in. Now, what you're kind of talking about, that's kind of a specialty item with the race being 2 days away. Something like that. Yeah, and you'd be better off just sabotaging the other racers, to be honest.
Oh, that's an option?
Yeah, we could do that too.
Honest kind of like looks around and you didn't hear this from Honest Greg, but I mean, sabotage is always an option. And it's never quite spoken, but if the price is right, there are certain people who can be involved to help out with such things.
Dear friend Greg, I am myself in the profession, you may say. So, such extracurricular activities, we would not need nor dare besmirch your good name.
Well,
So
I
let us
appreciate it. Honest
let us-
Greg's reputation is everything to him.
Let us consider such things no further here in your place of business. However, IG, what do you feel is most necessary? Do you wish speed? Do you wish the blasters to be more powerful? What do you feel?
Well, let's go fast.
Fast. So, Greg,
Fast.
let us focus upon speed. Already we have slightly more durable vehicle than will be standard amongst, the other racers.
Just
I believe we
curiosity.
can.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but
No, it's not this.
Honest Greg,
You
you said something that made me really get thinking. You're in the know about this race, right?
Ah, yeah. See, in my heyday, I used to race myself. Had myself a partner before the dirty bastard turned traitor and left me, but I was quite good back in the day. Honest Greg would draw fans from all over Bespin to watch me race.
So, were you the racer or the gunner?
Ah, I always thought myself a fine racer, but I always liked the action. Man and the gunner, that was my specialty.
So, two things. Number one, if we were to bring you in on a sizable cut of the winnings, what would it take to drop you in the gunner seat?
We leave him with the car.
Yeah, you could keep the car when we're done.
So you're looking to hire Honest. So,
We can maybe just
bring
take him
on
on
a
as a
partner.
sponsor.
Yeah,
Like
partner.
a sponsor mechanic. Like
I'll
put
be
his name
honest.
on the car and
I'll be honest, since I'm
out for
honest,
a
Greg,
discount maybe.
I'll admit my heyday is best behind me. Ever since I lost good old Ridey here, handling the gunnery systems, not quite the same. Not as agile. Tend to good with a wrench. Put a lot of my focus into
Well, how about
to outfitting systems.
you're talking about names and everything. Well, why don't we race as Team Greg?
I mean, I do a lot of mechanic work and work for other racers. I'm not quite sure.
I'm not talking about work. I'm talking about this ship represents your ability to make winners.
So you're looking for me to sponsor?
You sponsor us. You get us a vehicle that will win this race. Our pilot will guarantee the ability to get there. And when it's all said and done, not only do you keep the car and get a cut, you get the notoriety and the fame attached to being the guy that built the winning car, being the guy that put together the winning team. All glory goes to Greg.
So I'll be honest, because again, honest Greg. But, I do a lot of work for a lot of the racers. They do tend to come to good old honest Greg, but
I can fix that
I've
too.
never quite had someone come in first. I think that could put me on top to quite possibly move me out of this industrial district and give me one of those fancy shops like that old windbag Merle.
I know.
But you know what? I can guarantee that not only can you move up, but you can take Merle's shop.
And pulling that shop out from his old lady would be quite the feat.
IG and I can take care of that tomorrow.
So, well, what do you... The race is only 2 days out. What do you...
You'll forgive my friends. They make joke now and then. But
I'm just saying, you'll be able to take the shop when we're done. Sorry, I know.
imagine.
I think you got yourself a good proposition there. What are you proposing? What are you thinking? Because I mean, if you're talking about me doing all the work for free for a name on, I mean, I've never seen you race. You're a bit of newcomers here.
We spot fees. We can pay some portion, but in exchange for bulk of labor, you win rights to car. Races won, we no longer, require quite so badly. And own free and clear.
Do me a favor.
You get car, you get fame.
I've got a note here that says I have a boosted dice with a potential mechanic for social interactions. So
I will assist him if I can.
Go ahead and roll we'll say a 1 purple, because you've got him interested. Roll negotiation, 1 purple, and we'll give you a boost dice.
IG has hit it. He slapped that boost dice on there.
So give me your best pitch, IG. How you gonna kind of send this negotiation over the top? You seal the deal with Greg.
I'm going to compliment his mechanical or his choice in mechanical augments and acknowledge mechanical superiority.
I'm gonna play hype man. That's how I'm backing him up. Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
I'm gonna shake his mechanical hand instead of his organic one to seal the deal.
All right. So you acknowledge his hand.
Yeah.
So Greg, you got him on board. You've landed Greg as your mechanic.
Woo.
So what we're gonna do is we'll wrap up the session tonight.
Mhm.
We'll talk off stream a little bit about what kind of upgrades are capable for the vehicle. Discuss cost and a couple of things off stream. Do some shopping in Discord. How does everyone look for doing another game on the 5th?
I should be clear.
Yeah,
I'll be around.
All right. So on the 5th, we'll say that at this point you're about to get down to the industrial district. You got about a quarter of the day left on day 2. So you guys have made progress, but you have maybe 1.25 day left to kind of get the vehicle upgraded. So you're going to be a little limited on what kind of things. Some things to consider between now and in the day and a quarter you have left. You really don't know much about the race course. You don't know much about your competition. The actual auction itself is going to be closing in soon. So you guys have scoped some things out, but that's still coming up.
I will say that Shrek has a good line on at least a large number of the racers and who they are. We could always go pay them visits.
Oh, that's definitely in the cards.
So
Yeah.
so keep some of that stuff in mind on between now and the next session for how you're going to fill out, because the race itself is going to take up a good portion of your day. You're not going to be able to do much because after the race, and you're typically going to have, if you win, different festivities and stuff. You guys also haven't heard from Tosh or Murgo in
In a
about a
little
day
while.
now. So keep that in mind as well.
Mm.
Food for thought between now
We
and
could
our
be
next
short a
campaign.
splicer
Should we
and a
update
bomb.
Aris on locating a mechanic?
We can do that the next session.
Okay.
All right. Any questions, concerns, thoughts? How are you guys liking the way this is coming along?
It's going good.
Maya. We're barely restraining ourselves from murder hoboing, but it's actually kind of funny.
Yeah,
It is a
I mean
little fun.
there hasn't been any you guys are still kind of leading up to things, so the race is probably, unless you guys go murder hobo, which is also, I have a whole chain for things to go sideways like that. Your first like sinking teeth into action will actually probably be the race, unless you guys start going murder hobo. You may get into some bar fights. Those are all options. But
I wonder how many of the other racers we could take down before the race.
Depends
if
on
nobody
what you
shows
mean
up.
by takedown.
Well, if nobody shows up to the starting line,
Like we win automatically then.
so let's just get them super drunk, use Altor's like 4th liver to our advantage, like just take them all out, challenge them to a drinking contest, and like, I don't know, then when they don't show up for the race, then we win.
it's
we have to.
it's
we
going to be Altor
sabotage-
versus drinking against 6 other racers at different times. It's going to be a long day for him.
Why don't we get them all in
That's a
one
lot of
place?
Ugnaught spit.
Get them all in one place,
Yeah, just
I'm
one
all
big
wasted.
drinking contest.
and then have Altar go to the bathroom, and you and I just go Death Blossom.
Oh, that could work too.
So no, we can sabotage the Stormhawks and the Carbines, but you have to convince Razor's gunnery droid that he should be the pilot. You have to sell him on droid supremacy.
There you go.
Or I could just get them to churn on Razor.
That
Even
works too.
better.
Droid supremacy.
There you go. I support this.
I am going to wrap up the stream at this point then. Sounds like anyone who is viewing is going to want to tune in on the 5th to find out what kind of hijinks these guys are going to get into. It's very possible they may end up in a Bespin jail cell in the industrial district as well. So
Always a risk.
Never
Thanks
take
for-
me alive, Copper.
Thanks for all the subscriptions and the followers tonight. We actually had a few. I want to send special thanks to Third Floor Wars for the follow, Try J Gaming for the follow. We got Darth K Kaz with a follow and a sub tonight. So thanks everyone for tuning in, supporting us. We are going to be doing Sigil Confidentials tomorrow. Is that correct, Church?
That is correct. Tomorrow's such a big night. We got 2 new characters joining the fray, and it is going to be episode 1 of the new chapter.
So feel free to check that out tomorrow. That's going to be a D&D Sigil 5th edition campaign. So see everyone around then. Thanks.
Bye.
I know.
Good night.